Today we are talking about new wedding trends for 2020 with the inception of COVID and how it is affecting the wedding trends for this year and the years to come. Let's go. Alright guys, before we get started, if you are new to this channel, I want to say welcome. Here we share all things wedding world and photography tips and tricks related. So if that's your cup of tea, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button or that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our new content. Alright, so if you have been here for a while, you know we already put out a 2020 weddings trends YouTube video. So why are we doing this again? It's because COVID has drastically changed not only the wedding industry as a whole, but the trends that we're seeing for this year and the next year. And these are trends that some of them I am definitely on board for. And some of them are a unique spin on how to still have the wedding that you want in a very different way. We're going to start with the very first trend that we're seeing. Bright, vibrant colors. These aren't the blushes and the muted jewel tones that we've seen in the past. These are big, bold Kelly greens, fuchsias, and lemon yellows. And it's truly and honestly because people want to feel joyful again. They want to celebrate. And a lot of ways, people want to express that joy and kind of fill the space around them with that happy color. So that is going to be a trend that we see for a while. The next trend that you're going to see is that there's going to be a change in pricing on certain things that are often seen throughout the wedding day. One of those being when you're talking about hair and makeup. Hair and makeup artists are, next to wedding photographers, the closest to you on the wedding day. They're touching your face, they're touching your hair. They are in your personal space like nobody else. And so for that reason, they have an added cost to have PPE, to have maybe a face shield, to have more brushes because they're having to be much more careful about sanitation. They're being more careful about which brushes go where. And so that raises the price and the cost for things like that. In addition to that, the floral industry has been hit really hard because they have grown all these amazing flowers in expectation of them being used throughout the spring, throughout the summer, throughout the fall. And so there's a surplus of unused flowers that have gone to waste. And so for that reason, people that are growing the flowers that are being used by florists have lowered their amount of production on flowers, meaning that they're harder to come by, or they may not be shipping them from certain areas of the world. All of this incurs oftentimes a higher price point in florals, or the florals just simply aren't available if you're wanting a particular kind of flower. So we always say, talk to your floral designer. Talk with them about alternatives if the thing that you're wanting is not available. So, question of the day. I want to know what wedding trend for 2020 you are seeing in your area of the world. Shoot me a comment below, let me know, I'm really curious. So we've already kind of touched on the size of weddings and the amount of guests that can be expected for 2020 and beyond. And that really is going to be dependent on several things. It's going to be dependent on where you're getting married. And it's going to be dependent on what time of year and if you have an indoor versus an outdoor ceremony. All of those things are going to be affecting guest count. Across the board, are we seeing fewer guest counts? Absolutely. Our wedding inquiries have gone up, but the guest count has gone down as they are planning to still be able to have the wedding that they want in 2020 or 2021. So start looking at your guest list, determining who you're going to invite and who you might have to say maybe get together at a later date and time. So our next trend with COVID weddings is the structure of the wedding day itself. With most states putting a cap on how many people can gather together in one place, you're going to see several different ways that this plays out. The first being that couples will invite their closest, nearest, and dearest friends and family, limit that guest count, and have a ceremony, and then plan for the following year to have a giant reception. And we can definitely get on board with this because they're still having the wedding that they wanted, as well as the ceremony and reception that they wanted. Instead of postponing the entire thing for another year, they're finding ways to still get married, say I do, and then have a big giant bash later. Another way that this is playing out is simply to have everything smaller, whether it is a tiny wedding, a mini-moni, or an elopement. All of these terms have been around for a little while, but they have exploded on the scene in the last couple of months because often couples don't want to have to wait. And some of them are okay with having smaller pared down weddings. But the reality is, even though they're having smaller weddings, they're still paying the same amount and investing the same amount into their weddings. They're just doing it on a grander scale for fewer people. So that steak and lobster that you wanted now might be a possibility. The other option is that they are eloping all together, and it's just the two of them going to a courthouse or a destination and then announcing it to their family and friends later on. And whichever way you choose to do your structure for your wedding, the whole point is at the end of the day, you're married to someone that you love and that you get to do that journey together. And our last trend for 2020 is photography. Now more than ever, we've been away from family, we've been away from friends, we've been social distancing. And because of that, photography, images of your memories and your loved ones have become that much more special. And so we're seeing clients wanting to invest more now than ever into quality photography, into not only the photography itself, but printed products, things like wedding albums, beautiful artwork to hang on their walls, to remember loved ones, to commemorate that day. And so that is a trend I can definitely get excited about, because you always want to print your images because they don't deserve to be on computer. All right, if you are currently planning your wedding post-COVID and you want to ease a little bit of that stress, make sure you head to our show notes below. We have a bridal checklist just for you. If you have enjoyed this video and want to see what trends look like before COVID, make sure that you head to our playlist here to see more 2020 wedding trends just like this video. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our new content. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.